Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Rich G Insights. Today I want to talk to you guys about something that's been bothering me the last few weeks regarding Tesla. As usual in the Tesla world, the media seems to be sort of misrepresenting the facts or sort of distorting the situation a little bit. This time it's related to the $35,000 Model 3. The Model 3 was announced by Tesla in 2016. And it was to have a starting price for the base model of $35,000. Ultimately, Tesla did fulfill this promise, but only for a brief period of time. They basically listed the $35,000 Model 3 as available in the configurator once they had ramped up volume production to a level where they could support that price point. However, they took it away after just a couple months. Elon Musk cited at the time on the conference call following that decision that it had an extremely low take rate. In other words, the percentage of people ordering a Model 3 who picked the base model variation was extremely low, and it just added basically in their mind unnecessary manufacturing complexity because you have to alter the models being made on the production line for each variation, and so it actually costs them money to say, okay, let's switch from producing the all-wheel drive version that has an extra motor to the rear-wheel drive version, or between the performance and the all-wheel drive, and basically any major difference in the vehicle being manufactured adds cost to the production. And due to the low amount of people actually interested in that model, they removed it from the configurator and allowed it to be ordered as a off-menu item only. So basically what that meant is you had to jump through a couple extra hoops. You had to either contact your sales representative after you ordered a car and say, actually I want this base model, or you had to go into the gallery or call someone and basically tell them that you wanted this model that wasn't available to just easily order directly online. They've done that with other vehicles in the past, the Model S originally had a smaller sized battery pack that allowed it to have a lower base price, but again, very few people actually wanted that addition of the vehicle, and they eventually discontinued it. It's kind of a standard practice. I think it makes a lot of sense, but I've seen a lot of articles lately sort of misrepresenting exactly what happened here and claiming that you can't have a Model 3 for that price today. And while it is true, it's not as true as these articles make it sound. I'll show you why in this video. So let's jump in. Here I just wanted to start with an article from The Verge showing in 2016 the Model 3 was announced for a release date in 2017 with a price starting at $35,000. Not much else to see here, but I do want to jump into what's really bothering me about it now, and that's all these articles that have been coming out in recent months sort of claiming that they stopped selling that vehicle. So here again from The Verge, this time in November of 2020, we hardly knew ya, the $35,000 Model 3 is dead again. They said that the automaker will no longer be offering the cheapest version. This represents the second time that Tesla has stopped selling the $35,000 version. That's basically in reference to when they discontinued it, then made it off menu, and then made it not even off menu. Here's one from Forbes a little more recently in May of 2021 saying, now that the low cost $35K Model 3 is gone, the price is creeping up. They showed that there are actually a few price increases to the Standard Range Plus, which is the current cheapest base model that you can have, as opposed to just the Model 3 Standard Range. The Plus was one step up from that, and that's now the starting model, or the cheapest model. Here's one from Electrek, a popular blog that covers Tesla, EVs, and other sustainable topics. They say, again, that the Model 3 and Model Y prices have been increased, and now the cheapest Tesla starts at $39,500, so just under $40K, and that's also from May this year. The one that really actually prompted me to make this video is also from Electrek, and it just came out a couple days ago. It was a article on the $25,000 Tesla model, and it's just sort of what we know so far about this sort of even more mass market Tesla that'll come after the Model 3. Quite frankly, this article is basically a whole lot of nothing. They just say it's likely going to be designed in China, it'll come out later, it'll use Tesla's new battery cell, kind of all things that people already knew. But it's kind of like, I guess, a placeholder page for information as it comes out, so it could be a good article to watch. Electrek does have a history of sort of breaking a lot of news with Tesla, and although I don't always agree with the writers' opinions, they definitely bring a lot of facts to the forefront, and they're pro-Tesla and pro-sustainable transport, so I've been reading them for a long time. The part of this article, though, that really irked me was this highlighted part here. I've highlighted it. It says that, in fact, the $35,000 number was a huge selling point with the announcement of the Model 3, and that is basically their attempt to deliver on their long-standing promise to introduce a vehicle at that price point. And then it says they sold one briefly, and then since then the Model 3 has fluctuated in price, currently starting at $41,990 without any destination fees or federal tax credits. Still quite a ways off from $35,000. So this kind of bugged me because it makes it seem like Tesla lied in my mind, or it just sort of, I don't know, it left a sour taste in my mouth that they're kind of complaining that you can't buy the $35,000 Model 3, even though it's a vehicle that hardly anyone who was buying the Model 3 wanted. And there's even more to it than that, and that's what we'll get into now. So I would just like to point out that if you go to the Tesla website today and design a vehicle with the included options in the cheapest variant only, so rear wheel drive as opposed to long range or performance all wheel drive, the included paint color, which is pearl white multi-coat at the moment, the included wheels, the included standard interior as opposed to the upgraded one, no self-driving, and you just continue to payment. The purchase price is $41,990, which obviously lines up with what they just reported a couple days ago on Electrek, but it doesn't really tell the whole picture there. So why is that? First off, I would like to bring up inflation. Inflation has been 9.22% since 2017 when they actually started delivering the Model 3. It's even higher if you go back to 2016 when that base version was announced. Just real quick here, I can show you that if you take $35,000, which was also before destination fees and tax and stuff like that, and you add 9.22%, that's an additional $3,227, which would be $38,227 total. So that is still obviously not quite at that $42,000 that it takes to get a Model 3 today, but it's much closer than $35,000 to 42. It's right in the middle. And then additionally, if we look up inflation from 2016 to 2021, it's actually $10.58 for every 100. So we would do 11.23% from 35,000, which if we add it is, just under $39,000. So again, a little bit closer even to that current delivery price. And again, this is the price before delivery fees, which I believe are always about $1,200. I could be wrong on that, but in case I'm right, just so we have the full amount, that brings you to $40,130. So again, $42,000, it's like a $2,000 difference. And so I just wanted to bring up that they're not really accounting for the fact that $35,000 in 2016, 2017, or even 2020 is not the same value in today's dollars due to inflation. If you're not unfamiliar with what inflation is, it's basically the devaluing of money over time. Can learn more about that elsewhere. Maybe I'll make a video sort of breaking down inflation and like the monetary system in a future date. If you're interested in that, leave a comment below. Besides that though, it's still not telling the whole picture, because as most people know, every automaker tends to release incremental updates to their car and sort of have like a model year associated with it. It's like the 2023 BMW 3 Series is different from the 2021 version. Of course, automakers also tend to like call the car the year after the year it's coming out, so you can actually buy the like 2022 BMW right now. Just to prove my point, BMW 3 Series 2022. And right here you can see it's been rated and it has an MSRP of actually just in line with the Model 3, $41,450, and it's available now. And for reference, this video is being recorded in October of 2021, so months before the year 2022 is entered, automakers are selling a 2022 branded vehicle. It's not just BMW, it's pretty much every major car maker that you can think of doing that. And Tesla kind of always shied away from that. They didn't want to like wait to batch improvements. They just wanted to iterate and make the car better. If they had a change that could improve how it's manufactured, if they had a improved part or a new software feature, they would just deliver it after you bought it via OTA, over the air software updates, or they would just put that change into production and not even tell anyone a lot of the time. So basically you could buy a Model 3 in October of 2021 and November of 2021, and that car would be a different car, and not because they suddenly said, oh, now it's the 2022 version, but because they said, hey, we've come up with some improvements, let's get that in customers' hands. So Tesla's always sort of had this fast iteration process and like not batched upgrades. And beyond that, it's now been 4.5 years of the Model 3 being delivered approximately. So they've had dozens and dozens of updates. This isn't just a Model 3 thing. The Model Y today is better than the Model Y when it first came out. The Model S has gone through a tremendous number of upgrades with only 2 kind of official new versions coming out. One that was the first all-wheel drive version was significant, as well as the Raven, and then now the Plaid Model S were sort of the only refreshes that batched like a bunch of changes and was sort of like given an announcement by Tesla. There are dozens, if not hundreds or thousands even, of other incremental improvements along the way via like I said, software or hardware that have made the vehicle differ on like a weekly basis. And so yeah, I did find this article from Inside EVs that goes through a significant amount of the changes between 2017 and 2020. I believe they actually quoted another YouTuber, Cleaner Watt, shout out to him for compiling some of this information. I took the information from the article based on his video, as well as some other changes that either weren't included or have come out actually since that video was made. And so that base model now, the Plus version of the Model 3, now has a heat pump when it didn't in 2017. This helps extend the efficiency and range of the vehicle by having a dedicated thing to help heat the vehicle. They've also added a UV coating on the glass roof. A huge one is they've made autopilot standard. In 2017, you could buy the base Model 3 for $35,000, but it cost $5,000 to upgrade to include autopilot, which was just a software difference in that vehicle. Now that comes standard, so even if they had the $35,000 Model 3, by coupling autopilot with it, today would be $40,000, which is very close to the $42,000 price that you can currently have the base Model 3 for. I think that's obviously a huge selling point to buy a Tesla, is their like super advanced cruise control that's getting better by the week. It's not full self-driving, that's a separate software upgrade, which does still cost money on top of the base price, but that's a huge difference. And if we took our inflation value differences and took that $40,000 base model with the included autopilot, it would be like exactly the same price or even cheaper than the Model 3 was in 2017. You also have faster acceleration, OT updates with things like Sentry mode, improvements to autopilot. They have like pet mode or dog mode, I think it might be called, that keeps the vehicle from getting too hot if it detects that you have like your baby even or animal in the car when you leave it. Countless other OT updates that you can learn all about from reading the release notes over the years. They've got improved seats now. They have upgraded hardware for the full self-driving computer. It's called Hardware 3. And they also have improved the manufacturing in a multitude of ways. They've made the panel gaps more consistent and smaller. They have reduced the number of parts that go into producing the body of the vehicle, and like countless other things that if you're buying a car from like any manufacturer, you wouldn't necessarily notice these differences. They're not really advertised, but if you're a investor or really get in the weeds or a supercar enthusiast, they are nice to know about or cool to learn about, and they're definitely improvements that make the vehicle better, of course. They also include the key fob, which when the Model 3 first came out, I believe it cost like $200 or $300, maybe $250 to buy a key fob. They just wanted you to use an app, or they'd provide like this credit card like thing as your key, but now you can also buy, and then you could also buy a key fob if you were interested in having like a conventional way to unlock your car. That's now included with the vehicle, so if you add in just that and autopilot, it's like $5,250 maybe of improvements that were available with that base model from day one, that like now it's just automatically part of the price. So again, that really brings it up to over $40,000, and with inflation, I actually think it's cheaper to buy the 2021, or maybe we could call it the 2022 Model 3 at this point than it was in 2017 when the vehicle first debuted, once you account for inflation. So that's all I really wanted to address in this video. I think it's a little dishonest of people to say the $35,000 Model 3 is no longer available, because while like in a very literal sense that's true, it really doesn't account for the changes that went into why that's the case. It doesn't account for inflation. It doesn't account for the software being bundled into the base price as well as the key fob, and it doesn't really when they kind of like offhandedly mention that, it really doesn't allow you to appreciate all the changes that have gone into that vehicle since then. I don't even think this is an exhaustive list. I just threw it together from this year-old video, as well as a couple other things like the heat pump that I was aware of as well. So again, I hope you found this informative. Let me know if you agree or disagree that the Model 3 today is actually a better price proposition than it was when it debuted for that base model, even though it's just under $42,000. I believe the original one was $36,500 or $36,200 with the delivery fees and all that stuff. So there's obviously a higher sticker price, but in 2016 or 2017 dollar terms, for all the added stuff being included, I really think that the Model 3 is like still the best value in a car that you can get today, and it's also still the cheapest Tesla that you can have. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. If you like the content, please hit that button so it helps the algorithm out, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.